man, it is the Ace Michael Show. And yes, I get my peaches out in Georgia. If you want to be on the show, we'd love to have you. All you need to do is just send a request, say, hey, I'd like to be on your show, man. And we will get you on the show. That way you can speak your mind, voice your opinions, suggestions, convictions, beliefs. You never know with you. You know what I mean? So we make it available for you to do it however you want. If you enjoy the show, please subscribe and share it with folks. Today, my guest is Debbie James is in the house.
How you doing,
How
Ace
you doing
Michael?
with your big sexy afro?
Keeping it real, keeping it natural, staying busy. How you been?
How do you sleep on that thing?
I mean, that's my pillow. What do you mean?
Doesn't it
I
go
don't need
on your face like when you sleep?
That's everything. That's my umbrella. That's my pillow.
Right.
That's my helmet. That's my
If you're not
crown.
careful, it's a coin purse, right?
Yeah.
Debbie James and I met years ago in the Hollywood jungles, and she used to do our showcase events. And now I see you're playing big places. I see these arenas. Anytime an arena name is attached, that's when you know you're playing big stuff. Debbie, what? How? What? How,
Oh, no, well, first of all, thank you for always being there for me. You always been there for me, always supported me from day one. So I really appreciate you. And yeah, I'm right now, we just got back from tour. I'm touring with Enrique Iglesias. Yes, we're doing shows all over. Finally, after COVID, we're back touring. And I'm also doing my stuff, of course. I have a single coming out in July 1st called Dumb Booty. And yeah, that's pretty much what's been going on in my life right now. Just staying busy, focused, performing all the time and trying to make it work, trying to achieve my dreams.
So let me ask you, what can we expect when we come and see a Debbie James show? Is it going to be, lots of leather, lots of spandex? Are there dancers, live wild animals? Like what exactly are you bringing out there that people are loving so much?
I'm a rock star with a big afro. So yeah, everything you said and more, that's just me. The stage it's my playground. So whenever I get on there, I just make sure that I have a lot of fun and I connect with the audience. So once I get that energy from the audience, you just get a whole different person. And that's what they love.
So how does Debbie James go from, and I'll be honest, the little bar that I used to book was probably the most divey of a bar in West Hollywood. So how did you go from that to Enrique Iglesias and world touring?
Hey, so it's a funny story. It actually started with me going back to Israel in 2018. I went out there and I did the competition, the singing competition, the X Factor. And from there, I started touring with this guy who did a remix to Suba Miller Radio. And we opened up in Israel the show for Enrique Iglesias. And he pretty much just kidnapped me from the guy. And I was like, well, now you're with me. And I've been performing with him since 2019. And yeah, and I'm loving it. It's different. It definitely made me change my entire music. I was doing more pop American music, but once I got on tour with Enrique, my whole audience changed to Latin and Spanish. So I love this music anyway. So I just decided to, reinvent myself, I guess, just rebrand myself. And I just took everything down and started a whole new Debbie James.
and so in that, I remember there was a guy who was a manager of yours. He was very active. He seemed like he was proactive. Are you guys still working together, or have you gone like several managers past since then?
Oh my God! Right now, I kind of manage myself, but I have a great team, of course, that help me get to where I need to go. But I think I'm doing a good job managing myself.
So tell us about challenges, because our show is all about learning the how to behind. So Debbie James, what have you overcome that you felt
Oof.
like would have stopped you, would have kept you locked in a place, but you've moved past that?
We can start with language. I think when I met you, like my English was really, it wasn't even like ready. I wasn't even ready for no interviews or, but the challenge with the language, because I'm from Israel, it was what actually made me want to push more and do better. And I had to, work on my accent and, and I had to learn how to write and that was the beginning. And then I had to learn how to the music industry in Israel compared to America is completely two different worlds.
Uh,
So I had to learn everything from scratch, and I did it kind of like on my own, kind of like threw myself in the water. I was like, okay, let's just see what happened, and it's fun to talk about it with you because you were really there from like the day one, from my beginning progress. So, but you just got to continue pushing yourself and believe in yourself. And of course, everything is hard. Nothing is easy, and it's still hard. I'm still not where I really want to be with my career. I'm doing great, and I love it. I love the fact that I'm doing music for a living, and I don't need to worry about something else. I'm doing what I love, but I'm not where I want to be in my career yet. But it. I think that you learn and you grow every day, and it never stops. And as long as you just know how to accept the no and accept the constructive criticism and learn how to just like learn from it and not make it not make a big deal out of it if somebody tell you no, you didn't get this audition or you didn't get this gig. Like learn how to just take everything as an experience and experiment and grow from it. And that's pretty much what I did throughout these years.
Does Debbie James still get scared on stage? You get scared to go on stage in those big
I
performances?
get butterflies and I get excited every time, like it's my first time. I'm not scared. I'm like hyped. I'm like, oh my God, I can't wait to get there. And once I get on stage, I actually get more energy after the show. And I get like, and people are like, aren't you tired? You put so much energy. I'm like, no, I want it. I want more. I want to do it again.
So we live in a world full of pandemic, war, solar panels, bullying, sexual
Yeah.
harassment. How much of that stuff goes with Debbie James in the studio? Like, do you have a part where you say, I'm not writing that because Debbie James doesn't need that, even though it may affect me personally? I hate police brutality,
Yeah.
but that doesn't belong in my song. Like, where are your boundaries as far as that's concerned?
Okay, so like I said, I'm from Israel, so it's a war. It's a nonstop war for us out there, unfortunately. And I've seen, like, for me, I think that us as artists, musicians, we speak a different language. We bring happiness and joy to people throughout our music and performance. And as much as sometimes I see things that I just can't help it and I want to say something, I can't. I don't, because I've seen how some artists who did go and talk about political or put their opinion, it can destroy a career as well, just because this is just not, my opinion, this is not our job. I've been to Saudi Arabia, and for me it was like one of the biggest, like I wouldn't even lie, I was scared, because I'm from Israel. But man, like to get on the stage and we performed, we were the first, like one of the first shows where they actually allowed men and women to be together in the same crowd. And it was just amazing for me, and I felt like if I would have talked about political or or just went there,
Hmm.
I wouldn't enjoy or have the full experience of it. It's not our language. Music is a universal language, and our job is to make people forget about all the bullshit and the drama and the war. And this is just not our place. Our place is to bring people joy, happiness, and make them dance and forget that, oh, you could be my enemy and my parents wouldn't like me dating you. That's not our place. We're musicians, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm trying not to. My music, I try to keep it very happy and very uplifting. I have one song that I'm going to put it out just because, and it's called "Breathe," and that was a song that I wrote. I wrote it once we had the problem with the police brutality, and it's talking about all that. It's not really directly talking about that, but you can understand exactly, you know, what's the meaning behind it. But that's probably the only song
Yeah.
that I ever did for it. It's just, you know, I try to keep it happy and positive all the time in my music.
So tell me about the Debbie James childhood. I've known Debbie James as a young adult, but I can't imagine Debbie James as a little girl. What was the Debbie James backstory?
Woo, okay. So I was born in Paris, France, but I grew up with my mom in Israel. My father was a big actor back in the 80s. He played in Delta Force, American Ninja, I'm Gonna Get You Sucker. He was Kung Fu Joe, that everybody know. My parents fell in love in Israel while he was filming Delta Force out there. And from there, you know, they made me. I'm the only child, unfortunately. And unfortunately, I lost both my parents. My father passed away when I was 5. My mom committed suicide when I was 17. And after she passed away, I kind of like, you know, I always kind of, you know, dreamed myself in America. I guess it's because of my father. It was always this one part of me that I wanted to know more and find out more. Because, okay, I grew up in Israel. I know all about my Israeli roots, but my dad, you know, and after my mom passed away, I didn't even know how to call America. So the relationship with my dad's family kind of, you know, kind of like started to disappear because I didn't know how to call. I didn't even know their names, you know. I knew one aunt and that's it. So I packed my bags and I moved to America thinking I know English because of my father. Moved out here, realized nope, I do not know how to speak English. So, but it was like I'm happy that I did this move because it was like a closure for me that I feel like I wouldn't got that closure if I stayed in Israel. I opened my dad a fan page on Facebook, and from there I found my lost family. They found me, and I found out so many other things about my father that I didn't know. You know, for me it was just my dad. Yeah, I had a big poster above my head, and the movies would pop up on the TV sometime, but it was still just my father, you know. And when I moved out here, you know, to see the reaction when people realized who my dad was, and to realize how much of like effect he had on the African American communities, and you know, grown man telling me, "Oh my God, I was a ninja because of your father like 5 times." Halloween, and it's just, it gives you something, you know. It filled me up with joy, and you know, I got to meet people that worked with him. So I didn't really know him like that. So throughout this journey, I learned so much about my father, and I got to meet my family and learn about my other side. And you know, and I love it. And it changed my life. That really made me want to do music because I was like, okay, I got a legacy that I got to continue here. I'm not an actress. I can act when I want to, but I'm not. And that's how the music started. You know, I was like, okay, I got to do something. I got to keep his name alive somehow. So
Yeah, that's awesome. Now, speaking of ethnicity, you know, in America, we don't see you as Israeli. We see you as a black girl.
yes.
Or, you know, so how has that affected you? How would you say that has shaped you, the American experience of, it's not necessarily racism. We're not going to make it be
Right.
racism.
Right.
But we are going to say that it's definitely separatism. There's a thing in American society, the philosophy is just, you know, do Black lives really matter? I mean, you're not part of the status quo. as a Black, Latin, and indigenous person, and for a long time as gay or lesbian. You just weren't like regular people, regular
Right,
church
right,
going folk.
right, right, right.
So how has that affected you?
I mean, it's it's funny because like, even growing up in Israel, I've had to deal with, looking different than everybody. So growing up, kids were mean to me, of course, and would laugh at my hair, my big afro, and the skin color was different. I was very different in Israel, and it was hard, and but my mom would always tell me, she would be like, because I always wanted to straighten my hair, and I always wanted, the blue eyes, and even my voice was always like so deep, and I never got a solo, like, and all these things that I never loved about myself, because unfortunately, society, and you can't even call it, I don't call it racism because it's kids and they don't even know what they're saying, but it affected me. It affected me growing up, but moving out here, moving to America, and, being able to see girls that look like me, and, having girls that have hair like mine, it made me love it even more. And my mom always told me, one day you will grow up to love everything that God gave you. And that's what it is right now. And this is why I embrace my afro now. Like everything that I didn't like, because I thought I was different, and kids will laugh at. I want to embrace it now, and bring more attention to it. So I go extra big with the afro, and and I love it. And unfortunately, racism is everywhere in the world, and in every age and every country. And even in Brazil, I went to shoot my video in Brazil, and I had to learn about the separation. Like they have the light skinned Brazilians, and they have the dark skinned Brazilians, and they really have, it's like a conflict between them. And I'm like, that's crazy. Like that's crazy to see that it's really like everywhere, and it's affecting. But you try to just avoid it, and just bring beauty out of every situation.
Mhm. And we have a thing we talk about on the show. I like to call pretty girl problems. Uh, when I say that term, how would you define pretty girl problems? And in your opinion, is it a real thing? Pretty girls, or pretty girls having a harder time than not so pretty girls?
No, I don't think so. We just have different problems, Everybody got problems, and everybody got, we all, I mean, this is just life. We all deal with problems. I guess pretty girl problems is just a little more. I never. No, it's not different. It's not different. I mean, when you say it, I'm thinking about too many, too many guys in my DMs trying to, too many messages that he don't want to answer. That's a pretty girl problems. But problems are problems, and life is life. We all got problems. The question is, how do we solve them, and how do we overcome these problems?
Yeah, yeah.
Pretty girl problems.
Let's play finish a sentence. So the sentence is Debbie James is dot dot dot.
Wow. Debbie James is a powerful, independent, strong, uplifting woman who is looking to empower all the women in the world. Was that good?
So Debbie, now that brings up a thing that I've been really curious about over the years. I hear people say empowerment, and usually they're talking about women when they say it. They usually are saying women's empowerment. It's like
Right.
goes together. But I'm a guy. I'll never be a woman. I can't completely understand why women need more empowerment, because to me, it seems like women pretty much got it going on. Doors get open for you automatically. You know what I'm saying? Like what more empowerment do women need?
I when I say it, I mean it's more in between women, because like I just, unfortunately, there is a lot of jealousy in between us women, and I don't think that it's supposed to be like that. I think that we're all supposed to love each other and support each other and uplift each other, because
Hmm.
it's, doors are not opening just like that for us. Believe me, we got to deal with a lot of other things that we don't want to deal with, and for me, when I say it, it's just I want to bring like, I want, when a woman is sending me a message and telling me, oh, and I get that, I get girls that always be, DMing me and saying, oh my God, like I look at you and you give me so much strength and you give me so much power, and I'm a very shy person, and I don't have that much confidence, and I leave it through you. So this is something that it's like I love that, and I want to empower you, and I want all the women to love themselves for who they are, and not because of the body or the way that we look, or it's just, this is nothing.
Yeah, yeah.
We are all beautiful and we are all powerful, and I'll tell you a funny thing for me, right? Nicki Minaj and Cardi B. Okay, that's my example. Nicki Minaj, for me, it's like she came out as such a powerful woman and was supposed to be an inspiration for other women. Like after her, like all this generation of women that wanted to be rappers and MCs came out. Then she's, instead of loving, she's hating on all the women, and then come Cardi B and doing exactly the opposite and giving them, voice and giving them power and showing them, yeah, it's okay to be like this, and it's okay to talk funny, and it's okay to say what's on your mind. That's what it is for me, to empower women. It's like we need to support each other, and of course, men too. Don't get me wrong. If I can empower men as well, hey, I did my job even better,
Yeah.
But it's needed. It's needed in the world, like especially between women. Too much jealousy that it's unnecessary.
Yeah, and there's definitely a place where we all want to be empowered, as
Right.
a African American man, a black man in the
Mhm.
music business. I love to see examples like Dr. Dre, who you never hear about Dr. Dre tearing a hotel room up or trashing his car,
Right.
or going through. And I say that to say that there's a position where a lot of our entertainers, our young entertainers that are not necessarily just the rap performers, but the rap performers get the worst, no pun intended, rap about it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But people are always like, oh, the rap, oh, hip hop, la la. But I wanted to ask you, do you see particular things like, I'm going to pick on Megan Thee Stallion, and I'm not picking on her in a way that, saying that she's not awesome, because clearly Megan Thee Stallion has sold more records probably today than I'll sell in my life. But but the point is, like, do you as a female artist, do you ever look at Doja Cat, Megan, Dua Lipa, and say, that's a little too much for me, that outfit, or that, that song, I'm not going to sing about my vagina, you know what I'm saying? I respect y'all for doing that, but that's not me. Like, where does Debbie say, you know what, I feel you, but that's not where I'm going?
Yeah, I mean, some songs I love, some songs I'm like, okay, that's too much.
Right.
But that's their, each and every one of them has her brand. And once you have this brand, you just gotta continue doing that. Megan Thee Stallion, I love her very much. Now ask me if I listen to all her songs. No. I love one or two songs, but then after that, I think a lot of the songs are kind of like it's the same concept, it's the same thing. I don't really get too, too inspired by them. But hey, I give it to her because she keep on just coming up with records, and that's for me the main thing is, like, if you're a hardworking artist and you doing your thing, you're gonna always have my support and my love. What I do with my music, I mean, hey, my new song is called Dumb Booty, and it's a lot of booty showing there. You know, I'm not necessarily, you know, that's not necessarily my thing and where I want to go, but it turned out to be that way, and it's a fun song. And you know, it's everything. It's also, it's a moment, you know, like when we write something, it's like I can, after a few months, I can feel something completely different and write about it. So I take a little bit out of every artist, you know, and connect to them in my own way. And especially Dua Lipa. I love Dua Lipa. Doja Cat too. They're so talented. And that's for me the main thing. It's like the talent. Like, okay, it could be the lyrics, you know, in this industry also, it's not really always our choice of what we want to put out. And you know that. We have labels and you have people that tells you, no, we want this song and we want that song out. And this is so, there's so much in, you know, in the behind the scene that I can't judge them because of that. I judge them for their hard work and their performance. And if I see their show, do they make me want to see it again? Then you got me. If it's a yes, I'm totally yours. And that's how I create me, you know.
Tell me about the best Debbie James song in your opinion. Why is it the best Debbie James song? And when are we going to be able to hear it?
Oh, okay. So I told you I had to like rebrand myself. So I kind of deleted everything that I had and started brand new. The single Dumb Booty that is coming out is fun. It's fun. And I love it because I did a collaboration with an MC from Brazil. His name is MC Dede, and I did a collaboration with Randy Notaloca, who is a Puerto Rican artist. He's really big. And we did it in pandemic. So we got stuck in Brazil for like a month because they shut down everything. We couldn't like leave the country. And this whole thing just turned out to be so beautiful because the main reason it was for us to bring these different worlds together in the most difficult time and to show people how music just connected us all together. I don't know Portuguese. The other artist, Randy, don't know Portuguese. I don't know Spanish like that. The guy from Brazil don't know Spanish like that. We don't know what the heck we saying, but we collaborate and we brought this thing to life. And it's colorful and beautiful. And yeah, it's called Dumb Booty, and it'll make you shake your booty. But it's just fun song. And I can't wait for it to come out. So definitely Dumb Booty is one of my favorites. And you know, I have other singles. I can't tell you before I drop that song, you know.
Right. Keep a little bit for you. Save a little bit for the,
yes,
for the finish.
yes, a little bit.
So we got a few minutes left before I run out of time. I would like you, because Debbie, I know at this point in age, you're over 21. Let's say you're talking to an artist that's 10 years younger than you, maybe even 15 years younger than you. What kind of advice do you want to give that artist? Maybe something to look out for, maybe a warning, maybe something to look forward to in their career from your experience?
Yes, definitely. I mean, you got to understand that it's not an easy job. It's definitely not easy. Some, you know, some get lucky and get a, you know, right away and get a deal and all that. But, you know, for me, I think right now with the generation and the internet and everything that we got going on, try to stay independent is it's better than label. But if you get a great, you know, opportunity with the label, always, of course, get a lawyer to check out and make sure that you're not just getting, you know, being played. And keep believing in yourself. Just push. It's gotta be 24/7. You gotta live it, breathe it, and do it every day and believe in yourself before others believe in you. That's how I started. You know, in the beginning, nobody believed in me. People were laughing at me because English and this, like, what are you saying? You know, and I had no confidence at all compared to now. But the more I did and the more I put myself out there and the more I, you know, posted and show people like, hey, this is really what I do. I started to get the attention that I needed, that I wanted. And, you know, it's just, you just got to keep going. And if you don't believe in yourself, then nobody else will. So that's the biggest advice. Believe in yourself and work hard for it. It's not easy, but it's so worth it once you achieve something. Once you get that little achievement, it's like, oh, now I want more. Now I can't wait to do more. And just grow from it.
That is real talk from Debbie.
Yes.
Debbie, how do we stalk you on the internet? We want to be your pleasant followers, not necessarily sleeping in the bushes, if you know what I mean. But we do want to be in contact with you pretty frequently. How do we do that?
Yes, please. Well, you can always find me on Instagram. I'm always on Instagram. Singer Debbie James is throughout all the platforms. Singer Debbie James, spelled Debbie, DEBBI, no E. And you can always write to me. I always write back if you got any questions, if you need any advice. I'm always available. I'm really not a snob. I might have the blue check, but I respond.
Okay, so my last question I got time for is what is Debbie's favorite thing?
One? I just need to choose one.
One to start with.
Music, dancing, and food. I love cooking.
There you have it. There you have it. Debbie James, my guest today, guys. If you ever want to be on the show, we'd love to have you. I want to thank Debbie James for being phenomenal. Her story, man, whoo, she has done it. She's done it like a boss. And you know what I say? Live the life you love the life you live. You only get one time around, and this is not a dress rehearsal, folks. Thank you for watching. Bye-bye.
Thank you, Ace.
Beep.